Join UF Hall of Famer and 14-year NFL vet Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning. It's a live edition of PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. Locations across the state of Florida, right there in Celebration Point in the heart of Gator Nation. Go check them out, International Diamond Center Studios. Today's program will have Buddy Martin from the Buddy Martin Show. Then we'll have Chris Harry from FloridaGators.com. Gators defeated Dartmouth last night in basketball and then crank up SEC play at Missouri on Saturday night. We'll get Chris's thoughts with the Gator basketball team leading into conference play. Monday Night Football last night was a good one.
Wow.
Falcons win 27-24. Controversial call at the end. I thought it was a catch. They said it was not. Let's see what Buddy Martin thinks. You're on the Titan MR hotline, courtesy of Comfort Tent. What's up, Buddy Martin?
Good morning, Shane. You turned me into an NFL fan lately. That was not a catch. I saw it and watched it. No, it wasn't. You watch the game, you see he dropped it, did not maintain control. Later on, they showed it again about 10 times. And it was a phenomenal play. And this guy, I'd never heard much about him. He's from BYU, he's been playing great. I don't get to watch those games that much, but it was a phenomenal play. But in the end, if you watch it in your heart, you know, although it looked like he had possession with one hand, he didn't not maintain possession. It was, in fact, the correct call. And even Troy, this guy, said that afterwards, although they thought it was a catch right away. It was a phenomenal game. I'll tell you what, these games lately in the NFL, there's such a high level of play. It's like watching a concert of Mozart or listening to Mozart or going to the ballet and whatever, seeing people at the top. They were at the top of their game, Shane. The throws and catches. To be up by what? They were up 21 and come back and then lose the game on a field goal was unbelievable. And we've had that quality of play of quarterbacks for the last 48 hours, Shane. We've seen some unbelievable quarterbacking, as you know. And between Brock Purdy and Josh Allen, Caleb Williams now this last night was understandably at the highest level possible.
Yeah, I think the Rams are still the best team in football. They will not have home field advantage, obviously, but they've their 4 or 5 losses add up to about 12, 14 points, something like that.
Yeah,
So
they're awfully good.
they're very well coached. They have a phenomenal quarterback, a Hall of Famer, and a really good football team. It's just hard to win week in and week out in the NFL. All right, buddy. Switching gears to the Gators. A lot of people chiming in here.
Yeah.
850 Gator on YouTube, brought to you by Quad Plum, says multiple sites reporting Woods was homesick, had nothing to do with NIL or a better offer made Summerall. Maybe Summerall can reel him back in. Jaden Woods, good player, but trust again, buddy, I say this on all the shows I'm on. Fans get so enamored with who's on their team, right? Because that's all. A lot of fans only follow their team. There's so many good players across America.
True.
Gator Man wants to know, are we going after Cam Coleman? I would think Cam Coleman's a possibility.
A receiver coach, right? This is Florida.
Yeah, I would think that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, let me respond to a couple of things you said there. Number one, 850 Gator wore me out last night because we had a technical problem. We go on the air. You know how that goes, and we didn't have audio for the first 10 minutes or so. And he was really upset at me, and I understand. He didn't get to hear your college picks on my show last night, so maybe you can recase it. I'll listen to Shane tomorrow. Maybe you can recap your college picks. I went over them best I could, and Ben Trugan I did. And the last thing is, I wanted to say that, well, go ahead, respond to that.
Yeah, I'm picking Ohio State, Texas Tech, Alabama, and Georgia.
Yeah, that's what I told him. And so 850 Gator, one of your records, just it really beat me up last night. But I can take it because I'm tough. I'm a talk show host, right? We're supposed to get beat up, right? We love
That's
it.
right.
But the college game, I gotta say, you know how much I love the college game, and you know how much I love Jaden Ball, by the way, too. It is really let me down recently because number one, we had some lousy game. We know we have lousy bowl games. We've had maybe one or two worth watching. I watched most of the bowl games. And secondly, we're now in an era where we're having to report on things we have no knowledge of and no ability to get information about, and people are holding us accountable. I don't know the reports whether he was homesick or not. One report was said that it wasn't about money, and again, we're quoting other people who were tweeting. So what do they know? And they said it wasn't about money. They were willing to match. There was something else. I do not know that. And we're in the world of gossip now, Shane. We just don't have any information. You get to go out and call the games and see, did the guy make the block? Did he catch the pass? In your professional judgment. But how do you know what a kid may or may not be doing and thinking because they change every hour? In today's world, I understand it's not about orange and blue. It's about green. There's a lot of that going on right now. Like, what do you do, Shane, when you get to a point on Jaden Ball? I love him more than anybody. I'm his number one fan. But how much is he worth and what are you willing to do and how far will you go? We talked about this last night on my show. How far would you go? Would you be willing to go to the 3 million? I don't know if that's the
No,
right number. So
no.
how much
I
is he
wouldn't
worth?
I wouldn't pay you more than 1.5. You can't look, he's a phenomenal running back. There's a lot of good running backs around America. Um, but you cannot hinder your entire NIL money just because he wants whatever and somebody else is going to pay him. It happens in the NFL sometimes. Sometimes you just got to let him go. And I don't know if we'll let him go or not, but I think you trust our coaches. They're going to be smart with the money because we need more than just a running back. It's the same way uh, with the kid, Jaden Woods. I mean, he had 2.5 sacks, buddy. It's not like he had 10 sacks, right? I think he's got potential to be a good player.
But he would have came on really well at the end of the season. You
He,
know
he
that.
did. He did. I totally agree. But we don't watch the tape around the country of players, right? Did anybody think George Gums was going to be worth the damn when he came here?
No.
Okay. He came from Northern Illinois, right? And he was a damn good player. So that's why I don't get caught up in who's staying, who's going, because I know, especially at the wide receiver position, there are thousands of them out there. Thousands. Georgia Tech's got about three of them I'd take right now. Um, so maybe I'm in the minority here, but I'm going to trust the coaches and the people that handle the money and have what's slotted for each position. But you don't see running backs getting tons of money in the National Football League anymore. However, Bijan Robinson is by far, to me, the best running back in the National Football League I've seen in quite some time.
Well, see, I mean, this is it. This is their recruiting season now because we don't have one. The sign date doesn't mean anything. You know how they used to go crazy about 5 stars and still do for that matter. And we find out that this guy was a 2 star and became a 5 star type player. It's just what fans do. They have nothing else to go on. They see the results of what a player did like this. And Jaden Ball is exceptional, strongest man in the history of the team, did everything right. It could be even a better receiver, probably a great tight end. I've watched him from day one, step one, and fell in love with him the first time and told you that at the time when I saw him, just based on his ability to move with being big and fast and strong. And I didn't know how good he was, but I knew he was good. And so I really hate to see him go. But you're right. You got to set a number. What is that number? Is it 1.5? Is it 1.8? I don't know. That's the part we can't report on because we don't have the budget. We don't know what they're willing to spend or how much they need to spend on somebody else. So defensive line starting to be a priority too. So we'll see how things go. Again, it's enough to turn me into an NFL fan, given the quality of the play I've seen in the NFL lately. Unbelievable quarterback play. It's really high level in entertainment. You appreciate the art of playing football, and then you see some of these dog ass bowl games, and you think, give me some games here. We got them coming up this week. We're going to find out, number one, on the 2nd of January, or at least that's the first earliest we can find out what's going to happen to Jaden Ball. But we're going to find out starting tomorrow night about these playoffs, Shane.
Yeah, John says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, I wouldn't go over 1 million. There are plenty of quality running backs out there. I agree. I would not.
That's not the argument. This guy is exceptional. You
He
know,
is, but buddy, you
he's
can't. I mean, you don't see. Have you ever seen the National Football League do that?
well, it's not the National Football League, although we like to say this. I'm just saying there's a certain principle. I agree with what you said. You said an amount. Is it 1.5? Is it 1.8? Is it 2
I
point?
don't. I think 1.5 is the most that I would even consider, and I don't even know if I'd go that high because I like
Okay.
Duke Clark. I think Duke Clark's a good running back. I think we'll have a running back. I am not
Duke
worried about
Clark
that.
is no Jaden Bow. Come on now.
I look. We don't know that, but he ain't seen him play enough. And
Well,
here's
I
the
can
thing:
tell you that
would
right
you
now.
take, buddy? Do you think Keywan Lacey's very good at Ole Miss?
Of course, that's another story. Kewan Lacey is certainly phenomenal and he's durable and what have you. Again, it's a matter of chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, or rocky road ice cream. And for what I like out of a running back, and the guy who played all season, never missed a game, never hurt, did everything he was asked to do, gained over 1,100 yards, set all kind of records, and has carried what little of a team they had on his back. He deserves whatever he can get. If that's 2 million and they got it, give it to him.
Yeah, like I said, 1.5 is really
Okay.
going too high in my opinion.
Okay. Well, we're buying a car now and you're willing to pay how much for that Maserati? Maybe you're going to pay less than I'm willing to pay for it.
But
I want it more.
I think you can find somebody equivalent to
Okay.
him for less.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Um, the key is, and I agree with Franklin says here on YouTube. YouTube brought to you by Qualify. Duke doesn't have to be ball for us to win. No, the most important position in all of sports is our damn quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Well,
that's if we have the right quarterback, buddy, we can win with you at tailback.
I said last night, it's really amazing when you get a coach and a quarterback linked up, like we said in the NFL, like you and Coach Spurrier had, like Danny and Coach Spurrier. When they're linked up and they're mentally, they're the same person almost. That's really, really important in college football. It's hard to get to that level. I don't know yet about quarterback. I don't know. I haven't seen enough to know about what's going to happen there.
Well, none of
I
us do, but I'm just going by a guy that has a track record, was the top offensive coordinator in America. Okay. The guy that made their offense go was their quarterback.
okay. Did you see the Georgia Tech game?
I did.
Who was calling plays?
Chris Winkie.
Okay. Did you think there's any difference or fall off or anything?
Uh, I mean, they lost the game. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, Buster Faulkner made Stetson Bennett a two-time national champion, walk-on quarterback. I'm telling you right now, the guy knows offensive football. If you look at his track record everywhere he's been, and it's not all at the running. The bottom line is if you have a quarterback that can deliver the football, it's going to make your running game so much easier. And with that, if that's Jaden Ball, that's great. If it's Duke Clark, that's fine. I'm just telling you, there are a ton of running backs in America. Ton. And everybody's enamored with Jaden, and I am as well. And I'm not going against Jaden Ball. I'm just trying to put some sense into people because everybody looks at the team that they watch weekly. That's all they care about.
But don't you agree that he is our guy, quote
He
unquote?
is our guy, but buddy, if you look at it this way, if Jaden Ball loved the Mighty Gators that much, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about other schools offering him money. Okay.
I don't
So
know about that.
obviously
I don't know about that.
he doesn't love the Gators as much as you love him.
Well, Shane, you love the Gators. Somebody offered you to me, and you'd have gone too.
That I would have gotten paid a lot of money here. Same would have Danny and
Hmm.
Tebow and Rex and all this
Yeah,
because we played multiple years.
yeah.
But beside the point, I don't understand. Everybody wants Jaden Ball back. I get it. But the people in charge of the program now cannot screw up the NIL money just to get one player. That just makes no sense to me. And
Well,
maybe,
we're
like I
dealing in
said,
the
our
world of
minority.
economics. We're dealing in the world of economics, something we don't know that much about. And I'm sorry we can't get it back to football. I'd like to do that, but this is what we have, and this is why it's hard right now to be a college fan, not understanding all of what's going on behind the scenes and these crappy bowl games we got. Maybe the playoff games will bring us back around. I don't know. I like Georgia, by the way, a team that finds a way to win every game. And you look at what Indiana's done, and I love the story. I love the quarterback and all that sort of stuff. But if you look at their numbers, I read last night that half their big wins came against teams that weren't 500. Look at the coach. So we'll see. So let's see what the. Are you happy with the way the playoffs have gone, Shane, so far? Do you like how they've evolved? Do you like what we have now?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I wanted to expand it. People talk about the blowouts, and I understand the group of five teams, but think about it, buddy. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are not very good, and the Carolina Panthers are going to make the NFL playoffs.
Well,
Okay. And
the
there's
Bucks
multiple
are not
teams.
probably. The Bucks
There's
probably
other
won't.
who?
The Bucks probably aren't going to make it.
Okay, well, whoever wins the Bucks Panthers game is going to
Right.
the playoffs.
Yeah.
And there's about 5 to 6 other teams in the NFL with better records and are better teams that are going to be left out. So, all right. So Joseph says here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law. Where did it go? Ask Buddy, who was the last starting running back at UF that was bad. It'll be hard for him to name one.
Well, that's a ridiculous comment. I could go back over my records and tell you through the mediocre that didn't get on the field very much, things of that nature. That's not the point. The point is you have look. The Hope Diamond is the Hope Diamond. Okay, I don't know how much it's worth, and I haven't got the money to buy it. I just have followed this kid from the moment he started out very closely. A huge fan of his. He's done everything times 10 that you expect out of any player, and now it's his time to get paid. I don't begrudge him. I don't. I would too, but I don't know how much. Look, if you plan your team out and you have a budget and you say, okay, I can pay this much for a running back, it's no different than it was in the past in many ways. Many players were, I've heard a recent coach say, a friend of mine, I heard him say in the last 15 years, that cornerback is not worth $20,000. I mean, Shane, maybe you weren't involved in it, but there's been players paid for a long time. This is above board now. It's economics. I don't understand it. I'm just saying, give me Jaden Ball all day, every time.
Ruse Ogre State Farm offers a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visitogreinsurance.com. Give them a call at 352-240-1779. All right, tighten them our text line.
Hey, Shane, your guy Jason Marshall made his first pick.
Did he?
Yeah, he made a big one. You talked about him all the time being an NFL player, and you didn't get a chance to show it, but he's starting to show out right now. Yeah, Marshall had a pick, big one.
All right, this text here says, Gator guy says, I think winning matters a great deal for big time players when they are transferring as it gives him more exposure and can help their draft status.
Okay.
Mendoza, Indiana for 1 year to the next. What do you think? Well, Mendoza, uh, I mean, he was just a guy coming out of California.
Mhm.
Um, I don't
Florida, right?
I don't know if he had a relationship with anybody on the Indiana staff or whatever, but I think if you're comparing him to what Jaden Ball obviously had a better year going into the portal compared to what Mendoza did last year.
Yes, I would agree with that. I think he did
Yeah,
too.
98% of the people in college football had no idea who Mendoza was.
I certainly didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't know about Puka Nakua either. He's been around 3 years.
No, he's only been there maybe
Three
two or
years.
3 years
Yeah, 3 years. He
for
set the rookie
BYU.
record 3 years ago. BYU guy. Apparently, all his brothers played for BYU. What a player. What a player he is. I don't get to see those guys. Anyway, there were a few good notes. Like Cameron James is coming back for his senior year. That's good. They can sure use him. Like you mentioned, Cam Coleman, a guy is in the portal in Florida. His coach is at Florida, Marcus Davis. That's interesting. Amir Jackson, did you like him, Shane? Tight end?
I do like him.
He's
He's
resigning.
our most athletic tight end.
Yeah, he's resigning. And get this, the former Florida student equipment manager is the new athletic director at Colorado.
Well, there were two equipment managers back in my day that are athletic directors as well.
Yeah.
Yep. Dave Hansen, I think he's either the number one or number two guy at UCF, and then Scotty Carr maybe at Florida International. They
Mhm.
bounce around so much,
Well,
but
Fernando Lobo is the AD at Colorado. How about that? Hmm.
yep. Yes, he is.
He's the seventh athletic director at the University of Colorado. He's going to be Coach Prime's guy. So we'll see. Now, Shane, can you weigh in one more time on the incredible story of Kyle Whittingham?
What
And the
about?
guy, well, just becoming the head coach at Michigan.
Well, he's been coaching. He's been the head coach of Utah ever since Urban left, and that was
Yes,
a long time ago.
yes.
He's a good football coach, and it was a good hire by Michigan.
Yeah, they needed a guy who was squeaky clean, and I've heard people like Rich Eisen yesterday raving about this guy. He hates Urban, thinks he's a crook, and yet he realizes Urban really kind of. Urban told me the story about when he went to Utah, and Whittingham had wanted the job and didn't get it, and Urban wasn't sure how it was going to go. And he said this guy jumped right in, started coaching, and kept on coaching and made him better and better and better. And everything, he was as good assistant coach as there ever was. And he predicted he'd be a great head coach. And look at his record. Who does that? Who stays at a place that long and has, what, he went 160 or 70 games? And now he retired. And who does Michigan go after? A 66-year-old retired guy is the new head coach of the Michigan Wolverines. Amazing.
Yep. Andy says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, Georgia Tech's wide receiver coach coming to Gainesville. Maybe we can get some of those Georgia Tech. They got some good little receivers, man.
Yeah.
Go. Um, we might. Here we go. We got a text from Rick on the Titan More text line. QB, why do you think we don't hear much about Joe McGuire as an elite coach like you do with Signetti? Because he has one of the best rosters money can buy. I think the media is missing on this great story of a guy who made his way in high school football and now possibly can win a national championship. And not many people know who he is. Yeah.
Who'd you talk about?
Joey McGuire. You know who he is, buddy?
Not really.
He's the head coach of Texas Tech. He was
Yeah,
a
I
big
don't
time
know.
high school coach, coached 5 years at Baylor as an assistant. Texas Tech hired him, and it would not shock me one bit if they don't win the national title. They're
They
that good.
got they got a heck of a player at linebacker. I know that. He's probably as good as players there is in football. Incredible, Rodriguez. But I don't know. We don't get to see them that much. I mean, if you ask 20 people who Joey McGuire was, how many people would know Shane? Three?
Probably not. I mean, I think he's. You know who their leading receiver is, buddy?
No.
Caleb
Oh, a guy from Florida.
Caleb
Caleb
Douglas.
Douglas, right? Yeah. I didn't know. You told me that. That's why I knew.
Yeah. All right. So Eric says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plum, if a player chooses money over the Gators, not all blame is on the player. There's an agent involved. Yeah, look, I the whole game nowadays is about money, right? And
Yes.
fans get upset with the coach or the general manager or whoever it is if we don't offer as much money as another school to keep that player. Again, I'll say it again, buddy. Just because Buddy Martin likes player X does not mean John Summerall likes player X enough to give him whatever the going rate is, right?
But we know he likes Jaden Ball. We
He
know
does
that.
like Jaden Ball, but he's also got to be smart with the money that he's
I agree.
allotted.
I agree with
So
that.
if Jaden
Um,
Ball leaves, this it's Jaden Ball's decision, okay?
Shane, what do you think he would do? I mean, Texas has got more money than God, except for
Well, all the
Texas
Texas
A&M.
running backs, I think, are in the portal too.
Well, they probably know who's coming.
Well, they're probably trying to get more money somewhere else.
Yeah, it's crazy. Musical chairs. Shane, we're missing a really great story in the NFL. I don't want to talk too much NFL, but boy, the Philip Rivers story. I saw an interview with him last night. How grateful he was to be able to play well. Coming back at age 44, like we talked about, Shane, you couldn't do that now. But just think about this chance if you had a chance to go back and play at that level after being retired how many years and played at a high level. He played really well. So it almost makes the NFL lovable again with stories like that. The good stories like Philip Rivers really bring you back.
Oh yeah, Philip's a good dude. He coaches high school ball at St. Michael's Catholic in Fairhope, Alabama,
Hmm.
and they buy all their uniforms from me, by the way.
Do they really?
They do. Um, where is this? I wanted to read this one.
While you're doing that, I'll just read this out. This
Can't find it now.
Okay, while you're looking for that, this is so confusing to figure out formats, who plays who, when, and how, whatever. Do you realize that the next round, the college football playoffs, we use the same 1-3 format. The Buckeyes and the Canes playing on New Year's Eve, and the other three matchups spread out on New Year's Day. We know that this week. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. That's a lot coming at you at one time, those 3 days, starting at noon. But then that went on the night before. So it's still again it's a 1-3 format. I'm not sure I like this format, but I don't know. It's not giving me so far what I want out of it.
Reggie says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law. Not only does the player have to go through the coach, but now the players are dealing with the school's general manager. It's the GM's job to
That's
keep
true.
spending in check. That's why
Yeah.
it comes down to which team can play Moneyball the best.
Hmm.
Yes. And for the people that complain about player X that you want back and if he were to leave for somewhere else, open your checkbook up and send it to Florida Victorious is all I can say.
Hmm.
That's all I can say.
Well, some people can't afford to do that.
I
Okay.
understand that, buddy, but they then don't get mad if another school has more money than you do. That's all I can say. Um, John Jett on YouTube brought about Quality Plumbing says, QB, would you have paid Percy? Absolutely. Percy Harvin to me is the best football player I ever saw
Hmm.
put on a Gator uniform, especially with the ball in his hand.
What do you think happened to him at Florida?
What do you mean? What happened to him?
Well, he didn't play the SEC championship game.
Well, but Percy had issues. He
I
didn't. He should
know.
have played
I
in the
know.
NFL a long time, but he didn't.
I'm
He's
just
still
saying.
he's still
You're
to me the greatest player I ever saw when I became a Gator in 1988 till today. He's the best football player I've seen on that field wear a uniform, and Fred Taylor goes right behind him.
Well, I don't agree on Taylor. I do agree on Percy. I think I'm not discounting Fred Taylor. He was a great player, but there's been other players that have been awfully good. Percy, talent wise and ability wise, was everybody agrees, including Urban. You ask him the best football player he ever coached in terms of talent, it'd be Percy. He of course loves Tebow, but Percy. Percy did some things that were kind of like he slugged as assistant coach. You know that, right? Yeah.
Percy, what?
Percy slugged an assistant coach at Florida.
Yeah, I
Yeah, you
know.
know
Yeah,
about that, right? Some things
yeah.
that we wouldn't put up with if we
I'm
don't
just
didn't talk.
talking about on the field.
On
I've
the
never
field, I
seen
don't have
anybody
any.
better
I
than him.
don't agree disagree with. He was phenomenal, and he had like Shane. He had gears. He could throw it up like a Lamborghini, throw it up in that gear and just leave everybody. Incredible speed,
Yeah.
incredible
All
gift.
right, buddy. Time has gone by way
Yeah,
too fast. We got to get to Chris
yeah.
Harry and
All
talk
right.
about hoops.
Okay, go hoops.
All right. Have a good week. Happy New Year,
Thank
buddy.
you.
We'll talk
Same
to
to
you
you,
next week.
Shane. Thank
That's
you.
Buddy Martin. Join us on the Titan More Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. Quick timeout. Come back. We'll have Chris Harry from FloridaGators.com. You're watching and listening to PodUp Matthews in the morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back. Our premium sponsors are Atlantic Roofing, Campus USA Credit Union, International Diamond Center, J.F. Hayden's Craft Liqueurs, Los Linderos Tequila, Meldon Law, Titan MRI and Imaging, Castaway Sauce, UF Health Orthopedics. Gridiron sponsors are Baker Sports, Comfort Temp, Florida Cracker Oyster, Electronics World, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Florida Cracker Kitchen,
Gator Domino's, Ironwood Golf Course, McDonald's of Gainesville, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, Advocare, MG&A Wealth. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And to advertise, call my man Freddie, 352-284-3733.
Hi there, this is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that by popular demand, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet. You have spoken, we have listened, and we're now serving Gainesville's only elevated buffet, complete with an omelet station, ginger sage chicken sausage, shredded short rib, and of course our chicken and waffles. Plus, you can enjoy bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
The jewelry store with the most likes, the most positive reviews, the most raving fans is International Diamond Center.
IDC is definitely a place that I will come to as long as I live here. This will be my go-to place always.
Literally the best jewelry store in town. You'll make friends for life coming in here. I felt like family from the beginning. The value was extraordinary.
I've got a beautiful diamond on my finger and I'm very proud of it.
International Diamond Center.
I'm very happy to show it off.
At Celebration Point and online at shopidc.com.
Welcome back to the International Diamond Center Studios. When Urban Meyer wanted to introduce his high-quality tequila to the Gator Nation, he made sure to get it to the HBC and his team at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill and Dorn's Liquors. Go beyond with smooth Los Landeros tequila. This guy likes tequila.
No, I don't.
Chris Harry from FloridaGators.com. Maybe he's got some tequila in his coffee this morning.
I'm not a big tequila guy. I mean,
Okay.
I may stray to a margarita every now and then, but I'm not a big tequila.
Right.
Clear liquor, not really. No.
Chris Harry, let me see that bling you're wearing this morning.
This hat,
Not the hat.
it's still 2025. Oh, you mean this
That.
right there? Yeah.
Look at
yeah,
that thing.
Yeah.
That's
How's
pretty
it?
sweet.
Conversation?
Now you
It's
got to
that
get a
it
big
o-
chain. You need a big chain to work with
opens.
it.
It opens. It's got the score of all the games in it. It's got my name on it right there.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah. Is that what yours looked like in 91?
You know what? I can't even remember because it's somewhere in the bottom of the Gulf of America.
You
From-
lost it. That's right. From your flood.
All my memorabilia from college went to my parents' house in
Mhm.
Mississippi
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't really know where to put it, and I don't have any of it, so all gone.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
All right, Gator Hoops
Mhm.
beat Dartmouth last night. Dartmouth was not
Mhm.
very good.
Mhm.
SEC play starts at Missouri Saturday night. Chris, obviously, we played some really good teams.
Mhm.
Where do you like where this team is right now heading into conference play?
Some things, a lot of things. They're pretty good defensive team. They're outstanding, obviously, in the low post when it comes to scoring down there. I think they're one of the best in the country in terms of 2-point scoring. But I'm waiting, and 13 games is not a small sample size. Florida right now is shooting barely over 28% from the 3-point line, and that's got to be a concern because there's no team that is the worst among all 79 power conference teams. Now they can make up for it in a lot of places, but the best teams, I think there's only one team in the Ken Palm era, which began in the 1996-97 season, that won a national championship outside the top 20 in offensive rating. It's going to be really hard. Right now, Florida is around 24th, I think. It's really going to be really hard to punch into the top 20 and start working your way down. Obviously, the more elite you are, most of those national championship teams are easily in the top 10 or in the top 5. It's going to be hard to do that without making threes. So far, they've been able to work around that a little bit, but it did come back to bite them against Arizona, against Duke, against UConn, the kind of teams we're talking about here. And Florida's about to enter the SEC, which once again, just like last year, it's the number 1 rated league in the country. It's the deepest. I don't think it's as strong as last year, but it may be a little more balanced when it comes to teams toward the bottom. There's some, it's going to be a dogfight again, and got to find a way to manufacture some 3 points. Got to make some 3-point shots from those guards. Yep.
Yeah, when you look at the rotation now, obviously it shrinks coming into conference play. how many guys you think he's going to play? And
Right
who are
now
those
it's around
guys coming
seven,
off
and,
the bench?
they're looking for an eighth, and it's been back and forth just trying to find whether, it started with CJ Ingram. They gave Isaiah Brown a look. And they've even gone to Alex Kovachev
My guy.
the last couple of nights, first guy off the bench, along with Urban Klavsar. So that's still late. He was asked last night after the Dartmouth game. We don't know who that guy is. We're still trying to find him. So that's not an ideal place to be, but they do know who their seven are. And I thought it was interesting last night. Alex Condon got in foul trouble real quick. Thomas Hawk moved over to that four position, and they kind of went back to him, and they played a different wing, I think, or I'm trying to think who was. It was Boogie. It was, again, I guess, Urban and Xavier Lee were in there playing the three with the more conventional kind of lineup that they had last year instead of Tommy at the three. So there's some adjustments going on. But it's, the games get real now. There's some really good games going to come up this week. Missouri isn't a fantastic team, but they're certainly capable. They came in here and beat Florida last year, handed them their only home loss. So we know what any of these SEC teams are capable of doing.
Andy's question for you, Chris, between guarding the 3-point line and making 3-pointers, Gators look very bad against Colgate and Dartmouth. How can they win SEC games?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, Florida was up by 32 points yesterday. Lo and behold, Dartmouth, I think they made 12 threes last night. I think they made 8 in the second half. That happens in an SEC game. They're probably not going to win it because you do got to at least have some facsimile of some 3-point shooting. And when the discrepancy comes like that, there's going to be differences in the game. Florida was one of the best teams at defending the three. Before the holiday, the last couple teams have been able to make some against them. So it needs to improve, and they know that. Todd Golden talked about that, but he didn't like the fact that they're up. He wants to see, Shane, when you got 20, 25-point lead, even in these games that you would think don't matter, these bye games, if you will. At the end of the game, he wants to be up 30. He doesn't want it to be a 20-point game. He doesn't want to see scores go down because, in these days of the net and Ken Palm and these things that are taken into account once the tournament rolls around and seeding rolls around, believe it or not, margin of victory does matter. It's not a huge percentage when they come to seeds, but they do take it into account. And, every little bit has to, the margin is going to be smaller this year than it was for the team last year.
We got a lot of people chiming in on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, saying how Ruben and Tommy look like they kind of bulked up in the weight room a little bit. But they say that Condon doesn't look like he has at all. I mean, obviously he worked out in the off season, but maybe his body just didn't change like theirs.
Well, maybe his body is one of those that doesn't change a lot. That happens every now and then. Ruben Chinyelu is having a fantastic season. He leads the league in rebounding. His defense is elite. He's going to get wherever he wants to in the low post, and he's really improved his offensive game, especially that jump hook. And he's gotten better away from the basket too, in terms of that jump hook is becoming better. A few more feet into the paint or so. So we'll see how that shows up. Same with Alex Condon. We'll see how that shows up in the SEC because everything gets tougher now. But the premise to that question, I don't necessarily agree with. Alex works very, very hard, and he's had some up and down games to be sure, and did last year during the NCAA tournament, but also showed up when they really, really needed him most.
Florida Crackers, the brand for original Floridians, great food and southern hospitality. Visit us in Brooksville, Florida. Visit Florida Cracker Oyster Bar in Keystone Heights. Chris, explain to us, basketball fans, about this new, if you go to the G League, you can come back, play college basketball. Is the Baylor kid eligible to play like next week?
I've tried to educate myself on this, and I know you texted me, so I'm going to ask you about this. And what was he goes, explain it for us. And what did I say?
I really can't.
Yeah, I really can't because I don't think the NCAA can explain it either. I saw an explanation that they gave to Jeff Goodman which was just circular reasoning and made no sense. Basically, What it comes down to right now is there are players out there that are challenging everything with lawsuits. And we know the NCAA's track record with lawsuits. I've made the comparison on this show before. They are the Washington Generals of lawsuits. They don't win them. Okay. And so now you have a player, the Baylor player is a little different. Someone told me like that he can get on board with that a little more because the guy hadn't played in the NBA. The player, the name that came out, this other kid who originally committed to Louisville, ended up signing with Australia. He actually scored 4 points with the Chicago Bulls this year, as in the NBA Chicago Bulls. And now there's people are saying he's trying to punch his way back into the league in the second semester or whatever. So I don't know how that can happen. A player that is, I don't know, that goes drafted and never signs and plays elsewhere. There's all kind of loopholes there, but the real loopholes here are the lawsuits. And if it continues down this road, I don't know why you wouldn't go to try to get Walter Clayton Jr. back or something. It's getting kind of ridiculous. But at the same time, I know that the Gators were mentioned in this post about this kid trying to punch his way back from Australia, and there had never been any contact. It wasn't true. They don't have any scholarships anyway, so you wonder if this guy even wants scholarships. However it's going to work, I don't know how it's going to work. You asked me to explain it, and I go back to my original premise. I can't. Maybe the next time I have you on, or next time you have me on, we could. I'll know a little more about it. Maybe some of the guys will be playing elsewhere.
He'll probably end up at Arkansas. Calipari figure it out somehow.
He'll get 17 guys on scholarship somehow, maybe.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of the SEC, Chris, obviously you have to work most of the nights when we're playing, but uh, who do you think right now is the best team in the league? Even though we
Yeah,
haven't
well,
gotten to conference play, but who do you think's the best?
yeah. Well, I mean, this time last year, remember Florida, Oklahoma, and Tennessee were the only unbeaten teams in the country, and that was heading into conference play. They were all 13-0. It was pretty amazing, actually. This year, there's only one unbeaten team in the SEC, and it's Vanderbilt.
Mhm.
And you say, all right, well, it's Vanderbilt. Are they really legit? Yeah, they're legit. I just talked about being top 10. They're top 10 in offense efficiency, top 10 in defense efficiency. They've played a decent schedule, not a great one. They haven't played an Alabama or a Florida like schedule, but they won the battle for Atlantis. They won at Memphis. They won at Wake Forest. They have one of the best transfers in the country in Duke Miles, who came over from Oklahoma. They score a lot of points. So that's a team that's right now is the team that's on top of the league. Now, whether they're in the class with Florida and I think Florida is still the betting favorite to win the league. But of course, Alabama's going to be in it. Tennessee is going to be in the conversation. I believe Arkansas will probably be in the conversation. Kentucky will be in the conversation, of course. So we'll see how that all kind of shuffles itself out. But keep an eye on Vanderbilt there. I don't think they're just some flash in the pan kind of preseason kind of team. I think they're a really good team with a really good coach, and they run some really good offense. It's interesting. Florida's first home SEC game is against Georgia. Georgia
Oh,
leads the country, okay, in scoring.
yeah.
Okay, so they're playing a little bit of a different style of play, a little more up tempo than maybe kind of like what Mike White did at Louisiana Tech and what he tried to do with a couple teams and a couple games into seasons here. But maybe he's sticking with it, and maybe that'll be good for maybe that'll be the best thing for Georgia to do.
Speaking of that, because I think I remember talking to you when we hired Mike White, because I'd seen him coach at Louisiana Tech, and I was like, damn, they get up and down the court. Well, we never did that here. Now they're
And
doing it in Georgia.
you remember they did it to start the 90, what was it, 2000, it was 27-18 season. They were averaging over 100 points through the first like 8 games. They went to Gonzaga, or they went out to the PK80, scored
That's right.
111 in a double overtime game, and were undefeated. And then we're beating Duke, number one Duke, by 18 with like 10 minutes to go, and lost. And Mike kind of pulled back a little bit and said, maybe playing too fast wasn't great. And they should have stuck with it, because, you lost to the number one team in the country. And yes, it stung a little bit, but they had Chris Chiozza at point guard. So I have not seen Georgia play this year, but I'm looking forward to seeing them, and as well as other teams in the league.
The Kentucky, obviously they've had a rough go here, but I thought I saw somewhere on Twitter they got a player back, or they're getting like a really good player that can change the outcome of a lot of games. Do you agree with that? And who is that
Yeah,
player?
it's Jaden Quintense, and he's transferred from Arizona State, and he was a McDonald's All-American and a top 10 pick. And Florida was actually in the mix for him because Todd Golden and his dad actually played together overseas back in the day. But yeah, he's a difference maker, a big guy in the post, a rebounder, and what have you. And they got Ota Tegwe hasn't had a great start to his season, but I imagine he's going to round into form. He was the preseason SEC Player of the Year. Kentucky's going to be a good team. They're probably never good enough for their fans. We know how that works. We know how it works around here too. But Kentucky's going to be okay. They've lost some games that surely have frustrated them. But they're going to be a better team.
Daniel on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law. The conversation around Jaden Ball makes me wonder if Chris thinks a guy like Denzel Aberdeen would have been the difference maker we seem to be missing this year.
I mean, I love Denzel. I mean, as a kid and as a player, he rarely disappointed you when he was out on the floor. And one of the things that I said from the very beginning with this team, when you and I remember talking to just about anybody, the summer of 2024, I just didn't think the team that Florida had, and I was watching it, getting ready for the season. There, every time they put a player in, it was a good player. And obviously Denzel counted on that and counts in that mix. And I don't know that he's having a great season at Kentucky, but I know I know what kind of player he is. I know what kind of player he can be, what kind of worker he is, and what have you. And hope things work out for him. I've said before, I hope when Kentucky comes here later in the season, he doesn't get booed. He probably will. Um, but you look back and see, how Florida constructed the roster. Should maybe have been a little more aggressive and kept Denzel around. Um, it would still be Denzel and Xavier Lee in the backcourt because Boogie Flan was a reaction to Denzel Aberdeen leaving. So that's something that can be debated down the line. But Denzel, I remember seeing Denzel was with the team when we went to the White House in April, and that was really cool that they would not take no for an answer. He said he didn't want to go because he had left the team, and Walter Clayton and Elijah called him up, said, "No, you're coming with us," and it was good that he did that. I think it was great.
No doubt. Atlantic Roofing, your roofing experts for residential and commercial roofing with more than 50 years of local experience. A few more minutes with Chris Harry. All right, nationally, I've not watched Michigan play one time, but they are beating everybody by 50 points. How good are they? Better than Arizona, in your opinion?
I was at that Arizona game. It's funny. I was down in a hotel in Tampa. We were down in Tampa for a function and and I was watching TCU and Michigan playing. TCU like was beating Michigan in the second half, and I remember thinking, God, here's Florida's playing TCU in a couple weeks, and it ended up being like a 4-point game or what have you. And then, yes, to your point, Michigan just destroying people. Okay, and they got the Player of the Year candidate from. Can I say his name? What's his name? He's got a European name,
I wouldn't
but he
know.
came from Alabama, Birmingham. Yeah. Um, I think they're great. I think Dusty's a great coach, obviously. He's found his niche in Michigan. I saw Duke obviously up close and personal. I think they're really, really good. I saw BYU in person up at Madison Square Garden. They played the game before Florida played UConn. So I've gotten to see some of these really, really good players and some of these really, really good teams. And I think I don't know that there's a clear cut after Michigan, clear cut number two. I think Arizona's fantastic. You're asking me, I just think it's got to flush itself out. Once you get into conference play, teams start eating their young. So let's talk in January and see how things start kind of separating themselves.
Yeah, it's crazy how they just blow people out. All right, before we let you go, Chris, we've had a lot of discussion about Jaden Ball. I know you just cover football just a little bit, but I don't know how much you know, but I try to tell people you can only spend so much on players. It's kind of like the Denzel Aberdeen, right? He got more money from Kentucky. You have a pot of money that the coaches, general manager, whatever, have to spend, and they have to do it wisely. isn't that the way it works? I mean, you got X amount of dollars to spend on your basketball program, and you got to
Hmm.
do it smartly.
Yeah, I mean, you do have X amount, and you have a budget, and you got to spread to that. And basketball players, I think, do make more money than football players. I I think that's true up and down. At whatever level you are, because there's so fewer of them. But also coming into these decisions, you just gotta. There's an unknown factor from Jaden Ball's side. I mean, I don't know what the guy's going to do. I hope the hell he comes back. I think he's fantastic, and obviously he's a great player. But I
Hmm.
mean, he's saying he's looking around, and he knows other coaches. John Summerall's got to do his job, and John Summerall's certainly working to do his job to try to keep some of these guys around. That's a conversation that we don't know how that's going. I mean, they're in full court press to keep the guy, and the ball, his family, his agents, they got to figure out what's the best situation for them. And right now, players have leverage. For years and years, they never had leverage. So this is what this looks like, and until it's fixed, this is what we got to deal with. Just like the thing you asked me about before about midseason
Yeah.
transfers from the G League. I mean, what planet are we on right now?
There's no doubt. All right. I want to get your thoughts on who wins the 4 playoff games. Miami, Ohio State. Who do you got?
I'll take Ohio State.
Texas Tech, Oregon.
That game's at Texas Tech, right?
The
Uh,
game isn't down. It's the
oh yeah,
Orange
yeah,
Bowl.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's that's the Orange Bowl game.
Yes,
Yes. I'm gonna take Texas Tech.
me too. And
Okay.
then Alabama, Indiana in the Rose.
I've seen it. I've watched enough of Indiana where you can't help but be impressed. Um, but
But
I'm sorry, I just can't get out of my head that it's Indiana, right? Is
I'm
is
the
there is
same
there
way.
something with you with that, right?
Oh, there's no question. I just look, they've done a phenomenal job and they've won a bunch of games, but that helmet with the number on it just is different. You know what I mean?
Doesn't Alabama have a player have a number on it?
What's that?
Doesn't Alabama have the helmet? Oh, you talking about the Alabama? Yeah, you're talking
Yes,
about
that's what I'm
Alabama player
saying. The helmet with the number on it,
versus the
just
eye, right? Yeah,
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 just
yeah,
is a little
yeah,
bit
yeah.
different.
It is a little bit different, and I tell you what, if maybe we're reading too much, and maybe they're much better than
Right.
than we want to give them credit for. But who's on that bracket? Let's say Indiana wins. Who would they play? Who's
I
on that
don't know,
side of the
but the
bracket?
other game is Ole Miss, Georgia. I don't have it in front of me. I think
Yeah,
Georgia's going to win because I just think they
so do
found
I.
ways to win the game.
Yeah, I think Georgia's going to win also, but we kind of hedging our bets on that Alabama, I think, and um, let's give Indiana. I'll give Indiana the benefit of the doubt for this one game,
Yeah.
and
Couldn't you
and
imagine? Like I said,
I don't know about the second game. I don't know
I
about
don't
that
know who
second
plays who, from whoever wins, but could you imagine if
game.
you had a national title game with Texas Tech versus Indiana?
Well, yeah, that's that. Okay.
Okay, so Indiana, Bama plays the winner of Texas Tech, Oregon.
Hmm.
All right.
Okay. All right.
All right, Chris.
That's a
Good stuff as
conversation to have down the
always.
line.
You got
Yes.
any stuff on FloridaGators.com right now?
Come Saturday, I will have an overview of the Southeastern Conference to kind of open up play. So that'll be posted on FloridaGators.com on Saturday. Kind of a look, kind of a screenshot, snapshot of around the league of what people can look for.
All right, appreciate it. Happy New Year, my man. We'll talk to you soon.
See you, Shane. Happy New Year.
Chris Harry joins us on the Titan More Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. Franklin says, before we get out here on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, does Indiana get credit for beating Ohio State? Yes, they get credit, but it's still Indiana. It's hard to believe. If you're going to sit here and try to tell me that you don't think Alabama has a chance to beat Indiana, just I have a hard time picking Indiana. Have a great day, folks. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.